What if everything you thought you knew about the world of Wicked is actually hiding a much deeper, darker secret? From unexpected family ties and hidden villains to mind-blowing crossovers you never saw coming, these theories will completely change how you see Oz and its characters. Today we're counting down the top 10 craziest theories that could turn the story of Wicked upside down, and trust me, you might want to stick around till the end and not miss a single moment. So let's dive in and uncover the secrets that lie beneath the surface of Oz. Number 10. Fiyero's transformation is not what it seems. In Wicked and the Wizard of Oz movies, Elphaba's love interest, Fiyero undergoes a shocking transformation. After being captured and seemingly tortured by the wizard's guards, he is turned into a scarecrow by Elphaba's magic to save him from death. On the surface, this seems like a straightforward plot point, a magical transformation to save a loved one. However, some fans believe there's more to this story than meets the eye. Some fans have even theorized that Fiyero's transformation into the scarecrow isn't just a literal change, but a symbolic one. According to this idea, Fiyero might not have survived his capture and torture after all, and instead of being physically transformed into a scarecrow to evade death, he actually died in the process, and the scarecrow we see afterward is more of a metaphorical representation of his lifeless state. The scarecrow's existence symbolizes how Fiyero's presence and spirit continues to exist in a different form. Supporters of this theory point to the nature of magic in the Wicked universe, often used to reflect deeper meanings or hidden truths. The scarecrow might represent Fiyero's unyielding spirit and his sacrifice for Elphaba. Number 9. Oz came from an OZ file cabinet. This one's a bit of a trip. What if the name Oz isn't some grand magical invention, but actually came from something as boring as a file cabinet? Rumor has it that L. Frank Baum, the creator of Oz and author of the original book published in 1900, got the name by looking at his file cabinet labeled OZ. The theory goes that Frank Baum used to hold story hour for all the neighborhood children. They would come to his home where Baum would make up fantastic stories off the top of his head. One day, he began a story about some characters who travel to an imaginary world to meet a great wizard, and one of the kids wanted to know the name of the land where Dorothy visits. Baum looked around his office and saw a file cabinet with two labels, N and OZ, and he chose Oz for its whimsical sound and simplicity. Also, some interpretations suggest that Oz could symbolize the idea of a fantastical and magical world, representing the journey from the mundane to the extraordinary. The name has since become synonymous with adventure and imagination, solidifying its place in pop culture. So next time you look at your desk, you might just see the next big fantasy universe. Number 8. The wizard is a time traveler from our world. This one will make you think twice. Could the wizard actually be a time traveler from our world? This theory suggests that the Wizard of Oz, the enigmatic ruler of the Emerald City, isn't just a conman from Omaha, Nebraska, but a time traveler from our world who somehow ended up in Oz. Hear me out. In Wicked and the original Wizard of Oz, the wizard arrives in Oz via a hot air balloon and quickly rises to power by taking advantage of the locals' naivety and their desperate need for a leader. However, some fans have speculated that the wizard's sudden arrival and deep understanding of science and technology hint at something more than just coincidence. Consider this: the wizard possesses knowledge and skills that are way ahead of Oz's time, like creating holograms, booming voices, and advanced machinery to manipulate the citizens of Oz into thinking he's a powerful sorcerer. It's almost like he has a sneak peek of the future or past. What if his arrival wasn't just a one-time incident, but a result of his ability to travel through time? This theory gives a whole new meaning to his character and makes you wonder, how much does he really know about what's going on in Oz? And more importantly, does he have an exit strategy back to our world? Now that's a plot twist I'd pay to see. Number 7. Dorothy is the Wicked Witch of the East. Plot twist alert! This theory flips the classic narrative on its head by proposing that Dorothy, the innocent girl from Kansas, is actually the Wicked Witch of the East in disguise. The idea is bold and surprising, suggesting that Dorothy's story is not as straightforward as it seems. Traditionally, Dorothy Gale, played by Judy Garland in the original Wizard of Oz movie, is the pure-hearted protagonist who accidentally kills the Wicked Witch of the East when her house lands in Munchkinland. But what if there's a deeper, darker twist to this story? What if Dorothy and the Wicked Witch of the East are the same person, just from different timelines or realities? Think about it. Dorothy arrives in Oz and almost immediately sets off a chain of events that lead to Elphaba's downfall. Some fans think this is no coincidence. According to this theory, theory, Dorothy is a reincarnation or time-looped version of the Wicked Witch of the East, sent back with one goal: to eliminate her own sister, the Wicked Witch of the West. Makes you look at those ruby slippers a little differently, huh? Number 6. Elphaba didn't die, she became the spirit of Oz. Just when you thought Elphaba's story was over, this theory kicks in. What if she didn't die at all? This fan theory suggests that Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, didn't die as we all thought. Instead, she transcended death and became an omnipresent spirit that protects and watches over Oz. At the end of Wicked, we are led to believe that Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, melts away after being doused with water by Dorothy. However, what if Elphaba didn't die in the traditional sense? Instead of succumbing to death, Elphaba might have transformed into a mystical force, becoming the spiritual essence of Oz itself, a green force that's always present, always watching. Could Oz's true protector be a ghost with unfinished business? That changes everything. Number 5. Glinda is no good witch. You think Glinda is all good and sparkles? Well, think again. Sure, she smiles a lot and has a wand, but this theory suggests that Glinda, the supposedly good witch of the North, might not be as pure-hearted as she appears. Instead, she could be manipulating the people of Oz, casting herself as the heroine while subtly orchestrating events behind the scenes to maintain her own power and influence. This interpretation challenges everything we think we know about Glinda and raises the question, is she actually the real Wicked Witch? Glinda has always been portrayed as the embodiment of goodness in Wicked and the Wizard of Oz, the opposite of Elphaba's supposed wickedness. However, some fans believe that Glinda might actually be a manipulative mastermind who uses her charm and influence to control the narrative in Oz. In this light, Glinda is not so much the good witch, but rather a clever political player who knows how to use her good image to get what she wants. Number 4. The wizard is Elphaba's biological father. Talk about daddy issues. What if the wizard isn't just some creepy old guy hiding behind a curtain, but Elphaba's actual father? This theory says Elphaba's green skin and magical powers are the wizard's doing. In Wicked, it's revealed that Elphaba's mother Melina had an affair with a traveling stranger who gave her a mysterious green elixir. This affair resulted in the birth of Elphaba, who was born with green skin, leading to her being ostracized. The Gregory Maguire's novel and the Wicked musical both allude to the possibility that this stranger might actually be the wizard himself. If the wizard is indeed Elphaba's biological father, it would mean that he is responsible not only for her birth but also for her tragic life. Not only does it add more drama to their conflict, but it also makes their final showdown much more personal. Imagine discovering your nemesis is actually your dad who abandoned you, lied to you, and tried to manipulate you into destroying everything you care about. Wouldn't you turn a little green too? Number 3. Elphaba and Glinda are secretly sisters. What if the unlikeliest of friends are actually more than just friends? Some fans believe Elphaba and Glinda might be secret sisters. Think about it, both have mysterious backgrounds, and there's a lot about their parents that we don't know. The idea that Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, and Glinda, the Good Witch, are sisters may sound far-fetched at first, but there are several clues within the Wicked universe that suggest this possibility. This theory proposes that the two witches, who represent polar opposites in morality and personality, could be daughters of the same father, the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is known for his manipulative behavior and mysterious past. If we accept the theory that he is Elphaba's biological father, it's plausible that he could also be Glinda's. His character is shrouded in secrets and deceit, which makes the idea of him having fathered multiple children in Oz without their knowledge quite believable. Throughout the musical, there are subtle hints in the dialogue and song lyrics that could be interpreted as foreshadowing their deeper connection. Lines about destiny, fate, and being changed for good after meeting each other could carry a dual meaning if they are, in fact, sisters separated by circumstance but destined to meet and alter the course of Oz forever. Number 2. Oz is a post-apocalyptic version of Earth. Hold on to your broomsticks for this one. What if Oz is actually Earth after a major catastrophe? Some fans think all the magic, strange creatures, and weird rules in Oz are leftovers from a world that's been wiped out and rebuilt. It's like a fantasy version of what happens after the end of the world. The idea that Oz is Earth in the distant future after a massive cataclysm might seem like a wild leap, but when we look closer at the clues hidden in the world of Wicked, it starts to make eerie sense. One of the biggest clues supporting this theory is the wizard himself. The Wizard of Oz is revealed to be a man from our world, an ordinary person who somehow ended up in Oz and used his knowledge of Earth technology and psychology to position himself as a powerful ruler. If we're indeed a completely different realm or dimension, it would be far less likely for him to have survived the transition and risen to power in such a way. However, if Oz is Earth, but after an apocalypse that tore apart its geography and reality, his backstory would make much more sense. And if you pay close attention to the architecture, objects, and cultural elements in the Emerald City, you might notice peculiar similarities to a warped, futuristic version of our own world. The skyscraper-like buildings, ornate with odd technology and shimmering green glass, could be seen as futuristic ruins repurposed for a new society's needs. Makes you think twice about where the yellow brick road might actually lead, right? Number 1. The wizard is Willy Wonka's father. And finally, here's the wildest one of them all. What if the Wizard of Oz and Willy Wonka aren't just similar in their eccentricities, but are actually related? That's right. This theory suggests that the wizard is actually Willy Wonka's father. It sounds wild at first, but when you dig into the details, it starts to look strangely plausible. In this theory, the wizard had a son before he was whisked away to Oz. After being trapped in Oz, his son Willy grew up without him, but inherited his father's knack for invention, love for elaborate performances, and perhaps even his darker side of manipulation and secrecy. This inheritance would eventually lead Willy Wonka to create his own fantastical kingdom, the Chocolate Factory. According to the story in The Wizard of Oz, the wizard was originally a circus performer who got caught in a hot air balloon and ended up in Oz. This background sets the stage for the idea that he had a life before Oz, a life that might have included a young son. It's not hard to imagine that in his former life as a circus magician, he could have fathered a child who would grow up to inherit his flair for the dramatic. And if we consider the timeline of the stories, it fits rather well. The Wizard of Oz is set in a vaguely early 1900s era, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is set several decades later. This gap would make sense if Willy Wonka was a young child when his father disappeared and then grew up to become the eccentric chocolatier we know. It would explain why Wonka has no family in his story. His father went missing when he was young. It all starts to make too much sense, doesn't it? And there you have it, the 10 craziest theories that could completely change how you see Wicked. Which one blew your mind the most? And did we miss any of your favorite theories? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the magic of Oz.